How much money do you actually need to spend to get a properly awesome naked bike? Never overpay again? This video has all the answers when it comes to naked bike pricing. Right then, folks, what we've got here are three seriously good examples from the unbelievably massive range of naked bikes available on the market. And loads of you always ask, is the extra cost really worth it? Or is the difference actually justified by what you get? In this video, I'll try to explain what you can genuinely expect for a given price, who among you might be made happy by spending more on the M1000R, and who might end up feeling like they've paid a load of idiot tax. There's a crazy wide spread when it comes to price here. We're talking about the Kawasaki Z900 SE, not even the cheapest version, it's already the cool one with the Öhlins suspension. And in Germany, you're looking at somewhere in the region of 11,000 euro. Meanwhile, the M1000R, depending on how you spec it out, you can bolt on a fair few extras, goes well beyond 30,000 euro. And the Triumph Speed Triple RS, the 1200, settles at around 18,000 euros in Germany. In Austria and Switzerland, it's a bit different again because of the tax situation. So what are the differences that can really make you happy or unhappy? And where do things genuinely get serious in terms of separating the wheat from the chaff? Let's start with the good news. The fact is that with a lot of brands, Kawasaki probably leading the way, you're getting a surprising amount of motorcycle for your money when it comes to the hardware, the engine. That's why it's my pick here today. I'd say you're getting the most engine for your money. We're talking about a 4-cylinder here, 4 pistons going up and down, a big crankshaft, a hefty flywheel. But yeah, you're also dealing with a slightly heavier bike. Still, when you're in the saddle, I think the Z900 SE gives you that feeling of, I'm getting a lot of bike for the money. Everyone who gets off it feels like they've laid a decent pile of cash on the table, because we're still talking about more than 10,000 euros. And in Austria, even more thanks to tax. But you also get something in return. As I said, 4 pistons, big crankshaft, loads of torque, a lovely throttle response. And the engine really gives you that sense that when you close your eyes in the saddle, you're sitting on a big naked bike. It just feels proper. You've got to hand it to Kawasaki. They've nailed that sensation better than the others. Other brands go for downsizing, chuck in a twin cylinder, cut down on displacement, shave a few bits here and there, and that same feeling doesn't quite come through. Here's where the weight becomes a downside. This big beefy engine, it's a bit older in design and yeah, it's heavy. If you're a big lad, that probably won't bother you. If you can get your feet down and the seat's low enough, same story, not a problem. But if weight on a bike is something that puts you off, if a high overall weight makes you feel uneasy, then you've got to admit, okay, it's a great bike, but I'd rather it were 20 or 30 kilos lighter because it just doesn't sit right with me. And that's one of the major cost factors with bikes, RPM and weight. And in both of those categories, the Kawasaki is definitely lagging behind something like the BMW M1000R, which costs 3 times as much. Where the difference really stands out is in features and gadgets. We're talking about a full-blown high-tech rocket here with electronic Öhlins suspension. It's got the top-shelf Brembo brakes, more premium controls. Everything's 30, 40, 50% better than what you get on the Kawasaki. That said, Kawasaki's gone a good way too. They've now got proper modern electronic rider aids. So yeah, you've got decent safety in the rain, solid traction control when coming out of corners. Okay, you don't get the ultra-sensitive adjustability of something like the wheelie control, but it's not like in 2025 you'll end up with an unrideable beast in the wet. No, you've got a solid electronics package that keeps you safe and lets you enjoy yourself in the saddle. And now there are people who genuinely love being early adopters of new tech, those who want all the latest innovations in their garage. Whether that's necessary or not isn't really a technical question, more of a personality one. But if you're the sort of person who buys the new iPhone the moment it's out, then this might not do it for you. Because then you're sat next to your mates thinking, damn, they've got the cool electronic Öhlins suspension and I've just got the basic mechanical one, not the latest super suspension tech. So yeah, it really depends on your mindset. Do you always need the newest, best, flashiest tech? If so, you might find it tough to really be content with something like this. Sooner or later, you'll probably end up going for the latest, greatest bit of kit, like what Triumph has to offer. Now, Kawasaki did try to improve a few details, but when you look up close at the bike, you'll notice certain lovely bits that you simply won't find on cheaper bikes. If you're someone who gets a lot of joy from cleaning, maintaining, and admiring your motorcycle, it's likely that the more affordable bikes just won't quite make your heart glow the same way. On the Kawasaki, here and there, you've got a well that maybe lacks finesse compared to others. The paint options or how the elements flow into each other, there's not the same attention to detail as you might find on the Triumph. Some people, like me, don't care about that. It just has to work. It has to be good. For me, that's no reason to pay extra. And when I'm sat on the Z900 SE, there's absolutely nothing that makes me feel unhappy or unsatisfied just because it doesn't have a Triumph logo stitched on or a perfectly smoothed weld. I'm on it thinking, wow, this is an awesome naked bike, and I'm well chuffed. If I'm walking around it, having look and a feel, sure, I can see there's a bit more love in the detail, but personally, I'm a pragmatist, and I wouldn't be willing to throw in several thousand euros just for that. And now we come to the ultimate piece of kit. You all know how it is, completely unnecessary, wildly expensive, but when you sit on it and enjoy more than 200 horsepower, and when literally every part on it is the best of the best, then there are people who are just fulfilling a dream. And it's a dream that BMW has brought to life in a truly elegant way. They've basically turned a deluxe superbike into a practical naked bike. It's got those blue anodized brake calipers, cool suspension, carbon bits everywhere. And if you're someone who gets real joy from being the one person in a group of 10 whose bike makes the other 9 kneel down and admire what you've brought along, then that is without doubt a solid buying argument. Me, I'm definitely that kind of guy. I love the idea of being the 1 out of 10 with the bike that's just straight up twice as cool as the others. And it's not just about image or ego, it's also the fact that when you head out on this bike, you're maybe 3.7 seconds faster, just like that, compared to the one over there. Okay, that's just a rough guess. I haven't tested it, but it's absolutely clear that you can convert that performance, the electronics and the hardware into real lap time. So yeah, I stand by it. I'll lay it out on the table. I've got a 33,000 euro bike and I'm the coolest guy around, but I can also ride faster. And if that means something to you, being faster than the rest, having the cooler bike, being the top dog, then yeah, this is the sort of thing that really hits your ego sweet spot. Or maybe you're like me, a bit of an ego guy, a bit of a tech head. If you're a tech head who knows that milled and turned components are better, more beautiful, more functional, and weigh 2.5 grams less than cast ones, then you'll love placing yourself on these knurled, precision machined parts. You'll think, yes, it was absolutely worth spending 33,000 euros. So yeah, we've got 3 truly fascinating characters from the world of naked bikes here, each one making you feel when you're in the saddle that you've made the right choice. And when you move up from a 10,000 euro bike to one that costs 33,000, it's amazing. Just like back in the day, these expensive bikes aren't scary monsters. If you've got the cash, you don't need to worry that it's somehow harder or more extreme to ride. It's actually beautifully smooth and easy, just like the others. Whereas the other one with the big engine and the hefty chunk of metal, even at 11,000 euros, still gives you that sense of riding a proper, badass naked bike that lets you hold your own with the big boys out on the road. Drop me a comment below. Let me know where I'm right with my little psychoanalysis. How do you see it? How much should a naked bike really cost? And what features are absolute musts? Thanks for your comments. Cheers and goodbye. See you next time on 1000 PS TV.